What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on the test server here, and I wanted to show you guys a more accessible early game, mid game type team featuring the XENOMORPH. Now, I think the XENOMORPH, which is the free login champion right now that's going on with the Alien and Predator collab, is absolutely phenomenal, especially for newer accounts, especially for mid game accounts progressing through the game still. Now, I'm going to show you guys, like I said, this team, and it's going to be able to handle quite a bit of content very comfortably. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what you guys need to do as you guys are working through the early stages of this game, going through some of the dungeons and all that, and how the XENOMORPH fits into all this. So first area in this game that I wanted to talk about is actually going to be some of the dungeons that the XENOMORPH is really, really strong in. So the XENOMORPH is actually really, really good against these bosses, or at least some of the bosses that are heavily affected by poison. The big one being the Ice Golem and the Dragon's Lair. So this is the team that I'm going to bring here for you guys, and we're going to use stage 20 as the overall benchmark for this team. Very comfortable farming team, and I'm going to show you guys the stats on these guys. Like I said, it's very accessible. This combination of characters, we have Tholen here, which is going to be one of the promo champions. There's lots of promo codes out there. Make sure you guys snap some of those up if you guys are brand new to this game. And a lot of those promo codes will come with a champion like Tagore here. So if you guys don't know about Tagore, Tagore brings a little bit of a buff here. He's a great support champion. He brings increased speed, a bit of a heal here on his A2, and he brings a team, a revive, and a shield as well. It's just a really good support champion overall. You don't necessarily need Tagore, but having a champion that brings a revive just adds an extra layer of consistency to your team, especially when you're starting out without speed-tuned teams, without proper teams, without proper champions and all that. You definitely want to have consistent runs so you guys don't waste energy. So Tagore is a great candidate for it. He is part of some promo code packages as well, so I just find him to be a little bit more accessible. You definitely could use a champion like Rector Draft, for example, which brings heals and revives. If you're, more progressed in the game and you have somebody like Arbiter, Arbiter works really well as well. If you're, for example, in the game 6 months and you have Scylla Drake's amazing champion that brings revive, heals, and a bit of CC and support. You don't have to use the exact team that I'm mentioning, but make sure you guys have the champion's role laid out in this type of team. So we have the XENOMORPH here. Like I said, XENOMORPH very good against bosses that are susceptible to poisons. He's also good at crowd control for the waves and just pitching in overall damage. Tholen here, like I said, he is going to be part of some promo code packages. More people will probably have him. You don't necessarily need him. If you have Sun Wukong, for example, you can use him instead. Or any kind of damage dealing champion can work in Tholen's place. The good thing about Tholen is that he does bring a weaken, which is really good. That helps the overall damage of your team. He does bring this also decrease target's attack ability on his A2, which basically softens up the overall attack, lessens the damage that your team takes. So he has extra utility there as well for bosses and longer fights. And if you were fortunate enough to have him during his event, you might have gotten the 5-star soul for him. I'm going to have him equipped with the 5-star soul, but I'm not going to have a blessing on him. Same thing with my Jarrag. My Jarrag can be replaced with any kind of increased defense champion. I figured having an increased defense champion will definitely help, give your team a little bit more sturdiness, more durability. But the thing is, my Jarrag does have a 6-star blessing on him. He is blessed, but I gave him a kind of a random blessing that won't really affect him too much. He's a great champion. He brings the decreased attack, which is great, but Michelangelo covers the decreased attack. Increased defense is basically all I really want Jarrag for, and he's great for that. And then we have Michelangelo here. If you guys are fortunate enough to be playing for a month or two, Michelangelo is an excellent free login champion. He brings the self buff, he brings decreased defense, which is really good, and he has a buff spread. Now the debuff spread is very, very powerful, especially with the XENOMORPH. The XENOMORPH has this new debuff called Infest, which is amazing. And of course, he will spread all the poisons and all that. He also brings a little bit of crowd control as well. And then he does bring decreased attack and leech. Leech is going to be really good against some bosses because that gives your team healing. And of course, decreased attack will increase the durability of your team as well. Accuracy in all battles if you're short on accuracy, which is great. He also brings survivability for himself, which is amazing. Just a great login champion overall. So let's check out this team against the Dragon, see how well it performs. I'll show you guys everything, the team stats and all that, and what you guys can expect or how to build these champions at the very end after I show you guys some content here. So we got the XENOMORPH going in. He's a great champ. He's going to pair really well with Michelangelo, like I said. He brings decent damage. His Infest is really good. And if you have bad gear, the Infest is, like I said, really good. It just deals damage to the entire enemy mob based off of the max HP. So it's really, really good. You see an Infest placed right there on the left-hand side. Once this guy dies, he's going to do a bunch of damage. There we go. Splash damage. The splash damage will be affected by weaken. So if you have weaken applied to the enemy, then the splash damage will start dealing more damage to them, which is awesome. I don't have crazy stats on these guys. I think these stats are relatively reasonable for stage 20. I think this team with these stats can probably do a little bit higher, maybe 24, 25. If you guys are choosing between stage 25 or 24, I would definitely recommend 24. See the splash there from the Infest. Very, very nice. Now, like I said, guys, this is going to be more of a early mid-game progression kind of team, and it's going to be centered around the Xenomorph. I'm going to just show you guys exactly what you guys need to do to get the maximum out of your Xenomorph, and as well build a synergistic, well-rounded team that can definitely help you out. So I got the Xenomorph here with the presets to only use the A1. You see the triple poisons there, amazing against the dragon here. He's not gonna last very long against this squad. We do have a increased defense as well, so we're gonna be able to take some hits. Golem popping off with some damage there. Not crazy gear on any of these guys, like I said. I'll show you guys the stats at the very end. No specific stats used as well. Just poisons, decreased defense, weaken, and just hitting the correct stats. There we go, dragging down in a minute 51 on stage 20. This is a very well-rounded team. Like I said, we'll be able to handle tons of content with characters that you pretty much will get, depending which promo code you use, a little bit of progression. You guys can definitely field this team. Now, like I said, Tholen does have the 5-star blessing, but he does not have a blessing activated. And Jaw Rag can basically be any kind of decreased defense champion. So let's go into the Ice Golem here. Same kind of situation, stage 20. Now, the Ice Golem is going to be hitting pretty hard in some situations because once you hit the Ice Golem past a certain HP threshold, the Ice Golem will be hitting you with his retaliation slam. And a lot of times teams fall apart against the retaliation slam. So you gotta be a little bit careful about that. But poisons can bypass this kind of threshold retaliation slam. So having somebody like poisons, like Xenomorph and all that, he's gonna be really, really good. Just being able to bypass that retaliation hit. So you see there the Xenomorph with the Infest dealing all that splash damage. Very nice. Very good. And you don't need like insane gear. You don't need ignore defense sets on the Xenomorph for him to deal tons of damage to waves. He also brings fear, which is amazing as well for the crowd control. You see here on stage 20, there is these reflect mobs, which is a little bit annoying. So that's why having a reviver here is going to be really nice, just in case your damage dealer like kills himself with the reflect. So I always suggest to bring one reviver in any of these farm teams that are not like super speed farm teams, for example. So here we do have the benefit of, obviously Jaw Rag being a great support champion with its increased defense and ally protection. He also has a pretty large health pool for a epic champion, but I don't think it's too unreasonable in this build. So I'll show you guys like the build at the very end. But like I said, against the boss, I have the Xenomorph doing only the A1. That's definitely very important because, like I said, you want to apply the poisons to bypass this big hit if possible. So unfortunately here, it looks like we didn't get too many poisons landed. Can we get a debuff spread? That'll be nice. Can Mikey do that debuff spread? Nope, not yet. But yeah, Mikey works really, really well with the Xenomorph. With that debuff spread, especially with the Infest, if you can actually get that out. Poisons, Caustic Blood. Whenever the Xenomorph gets hit, he will land. He has a chance to land some of the poison stuff on the boss. You see the poisons landing there. Also, the poisons soften up the defense, so that's going to help out. Your second damage dealer here, which is going to be Tholen. There's the debuff spread. All the poisons landing, super nice. We got the leech on as well to keep our team going. And then we got the increased defense here as well against the boss. There you go. He's soaking up all those poisons. Really, really nice. And I also recommend having 2 damage dealers on any kind of 5-man team. so you don't solely rely on one damage dealer. Ideally, different affinities. Tholen works really well here. Great DPS champion. For waves, like I said, the weekend also brings utility. And similar to Xenomorph increases the effectiveness of your whole team with his poison passive as well. So there we go. We got just under 3 minutes. Pretty safe. Ice Golem 20 farm here. Definitely can go higher if you want to. And like I said, very reasonable stats, and I'll show you guys that in a bit. I think for this team, it can definitely handle tons of content. Like, for example, we can go into Doom Tower. Let's see. In terms of the overall stats, it's going to be a stat check against Doom Tower here, but I would say it's probably like a low or mid level type of Doom Tower wave team. And that's just going to be a limitation on the stats of the team. But I want to hop in here against the Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss and see what we can do with this exact squad here. So we have Jareg. I think we want Jareg in the back because of the ally protection. Let's go with the HP pool here in the front. Let's see what we can do with this squad. I'm going to run it non-quick battle first, just to see some overall gameplay. I kind of like this, you know, obviously back in the day, doing clan boss without quick battle. You know, if you guys weren't around for then, this is a sight you don't see anymore. So I actually enjoy it. For a clan boss team, if you guys want to do you know, an early game clan boss team, you guys need key elements. Decrease attack is a big one. That's going to allow the clan boss to hit you, you know, with less attack, so then your team can survive a bit longer. Increased defense is really big as well, because that's going to, again, let your team survive a bit longer. If you don't have a speed tune team, or if you do, increased speed is great, increased turn meter is great. Ally protection is great as well, similar to increased defense. If you have strengthen, that's great. And if you want to do more damage against the boss, having decreased defense and weaken is also very good. So you kind of see here, our team doesn't have great gear, right? Our team doesn't have great gear. If you don't have great gear, that's okay. Bring things like poisons, HP burns, that's okay. Landing more poisons, landing more, you know, more frequent HP burn or activations of poison and HP burn is an easy way to kind of do lots of boss damage without having to have insane stats. So you can kind of see here our Xenomorph just kind of going crazy with his A1. You know what? I think the Xenomorph having the infest ability turned off against the bosses would be really good. The debuff bar here can only fit 10 debuffs, by the way. So obviously the most important one would be like decreased attack. You know, leech would be really good and all that. So it's really important to have those very, very frequently if possible. So for example, we have 2 decreased attack champions here with Michelangelo and Jareg. Tholen with the A2, as I mentioned, with the passive, well, not passive, but background decrease attack is really, really good. Just because it's going to soften up the hits here a little bit so we can survive a little bit longer. We do bring a bit of shield here from Tagore and a bit of support from him, which is really good. Extra healing, leech. Leech is very important. Leech is very important. If you can bring leech against boss fights, especially clan boss, you're doing pretty good. And if you want to capitalize on leech for bigger heals, you need something like War Master, because War Master is going to give you a lot of big damage, which gives you more heals back. So you can kind of see here, I got most of my guys fitted with War Master. And then you gotta see all these, you gotta love all these poison ticks coming off the boss here. Really, really nice. Look at all those poisons landing. Super nice here. Extra turn from Tholen. That's just from his kit, not from gear. Really, really nice. We don't have block debuffs here. It's not speed tune team or anything like that. So it's not going to be like perfect, but looks like it's running pretty good. I mean, we're doing just shy, maybe like 900,000 per turn. So just under 1 million per turn. I would expect this team to probably last maybe 30 turns. So this is potentially like a two key Ultra Nightmare team, which is, you know, very, very fair, to be honest, very good. And I never would have expected how easy it is, actually, how easy it is with some of the new champions that we have, and obviously power creep in this game. But it's actually very easy to get to this stage, because when you guys see the gear on these guys, it's just like, what? There's no specific gear. It's just a bunch of stats. You just hit those stats for the content. you have the right champions, right mix of abilities, and there you go. You're hitting Ultra Nightmare and you're doing good damage. I highly recommend doing everything in your power to reach the top chest of Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, even if you have to sacrifice the Nightmare chest. Like, let's say, for example, your clan is clearing Nightmare, but not Ultra Nightmare, and you're getting one Ultra Nightmare chest instead of two Nightmare chests. I believe that one Ultra Nightmare chest is still more valuable than two Nightmare chests, just because the odds of getting the higher level rewards from Ultra Nightmare are that much better than Nightmare difficulty. So here we're just clearing 20 million. So this is entering 4 key Ultra Nightmare area. If we can get this to a 3 key, I'll be really happy. Obviously 2 key would be like best case scenario. But you know, for a team that we kind of just slapped together as a general purpose team, it's working pretty good. I'm really happy with this. We got 4 key with this type of team here, and we still got a little bit more room to go here. Keep in mind that Tagore is a reviver as well, so we might get a little bit lucky with that. But let's see here. We got the debuff bar full. I think what's going to happen is that we might run into a situation where the attack down does not land on the boss correctly, and then we just get wiped that way. But since we have 2 decreased attack champions, hopefully the decreased attack just lands a little bit more frequently, and then we can survive that kind of scenario a little bit more. So there we go. So far running pretty good. I mean, we're entering 3 key territory. That's going to be about 24 million, and we're just there right now. We're doing void affinity here. You know, we got a decent mix of affinities, but we definitely don't want to be fighting force affinity because we have 3 magic affinity champions, and our main damage dealer here will be the Xenomorph, which is a magic affinity champion, so we definitely don't want to run into force. There we go. Our first champion goes down from the big slam here. Turn 27. That sounds about right. Michelangelo actually going down. That's a little bit surprising. Let's see if he can recover here a little bit. Okay, we need that decreased attack. Decreased attack is down. We need increased defense. Can we get there in time? We do. Cycle it back in time. And we heal up. Time to heal up. Let's go. And here we don't have leech, so there's nowhere to heal. So obviously not going to be super consistent if we are filling up the debuff bar too quickly. But lots of damage here from the Xenomorph. We have passed the 3 key Ultra Nightmare mark. But as long as Tagore is alive, we have a chance for this run to keep going, which is absolutely insane. Can we hit 35 million? If we can hit 35 million, that's going to be the 2 key mark. That's going to be amazing. Tholen goes down again. We get the increased defense, allied protection up now. And I think the masteries are generally pretty optimized, but we can go over the masteries here as well. Oh, Tagore is taking a bit of damage. 29 million. We have surpassed the estimation for this. Oh, the evade happened. Amazing. We could even speed tune this, like tune this a little bit better, because we can tune it so that the stun always goes for Mikey, giving us a chance to evade. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that's just an extra crazy factor for a free login champion for Michelangelo, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, we passed 35 turns, which is way beyond what I've expected. I was like 30 turns, I could expect that, but yeah, we're at 35 turns. We're losing Tholen a little bit here. He does bring a little bit of damage, which kind of sucks. So we're losing a bit of damage. But hey, we're at 31 million. Can Tagore pick up the rest without dying here? We have one more shot at this. Jarrag's actually really good for Clan Boss, so obviously we picked a good champion to come along with us against the Clan Boss. And oh, there we go. Now we lost our reviver. Things are going to fall apart. Just shy, guys. Just shy of the 2 key here. 34. We can get one more poison A1, and we do. There we go. We did 34 million damage. So you guys see the chest here. 70 million is what we need. Just about 35 million. So almost a 2 key with this squad here. Xenomorph doing basically 2/3 of the damage here. 20 million damage. Tholen pitching in with 6 million. All these little bits, little millions here, they're coming from War Masters. The War Masters. So anyways, let's do a couple quick runs, and then we'll see maybe if we can improve on this. I think it's possible. I think that's a pretty good run, though. But yeah, let's do the quick battles here. And then let's see what we can do here in terms of overall damage. 27. Affinity is going to change here, and that's going to change things up. If we can get magic, magic or spirit, then it's going to be I think, advantageous for us. But you can kind of see here, we're consistently 3-keying. See, like 25, that's consistent 3-key. It was very tight with the 2-key, but that wasn't going to happen. Maybe if we manualed it, we could have squeezed out like a 2-key. Or maybe if we optimize a little bit. But you can kind of see here, 25 to 30 million per key for this squad. Very happy with it. I mean, like I said, it's more of a generalist team just to handle various content in the game. I just wanted to show you guys what to expect from an early game account. So I'm going to show you guys the gear and squad here that I got going on. So we got Tholen here. I had to remove some gear because my stats were just too high because of my Great Hall and all that. I also didn't want any kind of crazy outlier or anything like that. So checking out the stats here, 32. I don't have clan boss. I don't think I have any clan boss. Is there a clan boss? There is a clan boss, right? Demon Lord. There we go. Yeah, I don't have any clan boss bonuses, so no cheating on my part. 194 speed. We got crit rate. We got 200 crit damage. 4.8k attack, but we only have a single cruel set on this guy. We don't have much ignore defense. No relics. No blessings, and here are the masteries on him. General kind of nuker masteries, Helm Smasher. I think with this kind of build at this stage in the game for this team, you probably just take War Master and do more damage anyways. But these are pretty good masteries for Tholen. The counterattacks are really good with his A1 and all that. Okay, let's move on to the next champion here. So we have Tagore. So Tagore here, again, very reasonable build. Again, I had to remove the accessories because the stats were getting a little bit too crazy. For Ultra Nightmare Demon Lord, you want about 230 accuracy. So that was what I was aiming for. For level 20 dungeons, about 200 accuracy is totally fine. We have Tagore going a little bit faster than the rest of the guys just because he is the main support champion. 60k HP, 239 speed, I think is more than reasonable with broken sets. No relics, no blessings. He is fully booked. He does require epic books. Books definitely good on him. And in terms of the overall masteries, we took War Master just because to pitch in a little bit of damage. He's not doing a lot of damage there, guys, against the clan boss. Support tree, very good value, lots of shields, lots of healing, and of course, Spirit Haste is very good for any kind of reviver. Lasting Gifts, he does bring some good buffs, relevant buffs. So Lasting Gifts, very good for Tagore. Generally, he's just a solid early game kind of support champion. He's going to carry you in a lot of different areas, but he's definitely replaceable. Any kind of reviver is going to be decent in this spot here as well. Let's hop over to the other support. So Jareg, I chose Jareg to take along with this team as a more accessible support option. The big thing about Jareg is that he brings increased defense. That's why I really wanted for this team, because increased defense will improve your clan boss performance quite a bit and make it so that your team is quite tanky. So yeah, I did have a 6-star bless on him and I did select the blessing, but in this case I took neutralize, which is a non-factor blessing against any of the content that we were doing. But he does benefit from the stats. But the stats here, I did check the stats a little bit, so it's not too crazy. 236 speed, 266 accuracy, 68k HP. He does have pretty high base HP, so 23k here. Dragon, I do have a little bit more stats, so 240 here. Accuracy, which wasn't needed, so a little bit extra speed against the dragon, and then against the ice golem a little bit extra speed as well, but still under 250 speed, which is very, very reasonable. Like I said, no specific sets used, just broken stats. But if you can make some sets on these guys, it's great. It's not necessary as I've shown in this video. And then, like I said, here's the masteries. We went down to War Master, so you can pitch in a little bit of damage. I think for Jareg, I think I probably made a mistake here. You definitely probably want to get lasting gifts. So I would probably remove Sniper and then go for lasting gifts and then keep Master Hexer. But the big thing is you want to have a high percentage of landing to decrease attack. So that's probably why I ended up taking Sniper on this account. But it really depends. You could go for increase, duration on increased defense, ally protection. I think that's probably good, especially with multiple decreased attacks on this team. If he was the sole decrease attack champion, maybe I would just go for the mastery set that I have right now and then pick up Sniper. But since I have multiple decreased attacks, I probably want the lasting gifts on this account or on this team. But yeah, so that's Jarrag, great support champion, especially for clan boss. So I definitely wanted him on the squad. After that, we have Michelangelo here. This guy does everything for you. Very good champion. We have one immortal set on him. It's not the end of the world. 220 space speed, 220 speed is what we got. 250 accuracy, 42k HP. We didn't fully bless him or anything, but honestly, if you guys have him, you guys probably have the 5-star blessing, which is amazing. And if you guys have the 5-star blessing on him, give him Brimstone. If you give him Brimstone, he's going to be doing insane amounts of damage. Now, the Xenomorph here, sorry, I'm going to cover this a little bit. I actually forgot to mention something that's very important, especially for early game players. So here we got a War Master, and that's going to be where most of his damage is coming from. Lasting Gifts, he does bring some buffs, and then Master Hexer to increase the duration of his leech, decrease attacks, very, very good. Now the big thing here for the Xenomorph, let's talk about the Xenomorph here for a second here. I didn't bring too much damage on him just because obviously newer players won't have great damage stats, so I don't want to overshoot the stats here. 212's base speed, we want 100% crit rate. That's going to be very important. 4.4k attack, so not very high attack. We have decent crit damage here and decent accuracy. We do have one cruel set just for a little bit of ignore defense. For Nature's Wrath, for this blessing, this is what I probably should have changed, and we will change this right now, especially for newer accounts. But you definitely want Brimstone on this champion, especially in the beginning. Brimstone's going to bring you tons of damage against the boss champion, especially in longer fights. So actually, I'm going to run this team again in Clan Boss to see if the Brimstone pushes us over the edge in terms of overall damage. War Master for this Xenomorph early game, War Master is going to deal most of your damage. Your damage is not really going to come from your gear because your gear pretty much sucks in the beginning. I would probably say this is pretty good gear, but we do have a 5-star blessing on him, and he is benefiting from that in this build. So you're going to get some additional stats here as well. 274 accuracy, 75 of that is from the blessing. So it does make a big difference there once you get the blessing. So make sure you guys do that. No relics or anything like that. Let's run this team again. This time I do have the Brimstone on my Xenomorph. And then we should see a bit of a benefit here in terms of overall damage. So let's check that out here. There we go. We got 30 on the first hit. 30 on the first hit. And are we fighting Force Affinity here? Let me just double check here. 35. There we go. We got our 2 key, guys. We got our 2 key. We got our 2 key Ultra Nightmare team with basically, free champions that you can pick up. And yeah, just hitting the stats. Just hitting the stats. Aim for about 200 speed against Ultra Nightmare. Aim for about 230 accuracy. And that's what you're going to need. We got Void Affinity still. Okay, so Void Affinity still. Let's see how consistent that was. It hit 30 and 35. But most of that, like I said, the upgrade to Brimstone is massive. Brimstone is massive. 27 there. Not super consistent. Like I said, there's going to be opportunity for you to lose decrease attack against the clan boss because of all the debuffs that the Xenomorph puts out. It's not going to be 100% consistent, but you get a very consistent 3 key, and then we even hit the 2 key possible with 35 million damage. Anyways, folks, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully this showed you guys what a bunch of kind of early game champions can do in early game builds, can do against some of the content. Obviously, this is a very synergistic mix. It covers a lot of different roles. Hopefully you guys can build a team similar to this. I use champions that are more accessible, that you use gear that is more accessible to most players. And I just wanted to highlight how, like I said, they're very synergistic together. As long as you cover a lot of the roles, you can handle a lot of content and make it look pretty easy, to be honest. If you have Michelangelo, he pairs excellent with Xenomorph. So something to look forward to once we get the Xenomorph in a couple days here. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the Xenomorph? I think he's a massive champion, especially for newer players. His A1's incredible. The poisons against the bosses is amazing. And the 5-star blessing for a legendary champion will be awesome. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It really, really helps me out. Best of luck on your raid journey. If you guys are brand new, enjoy your brand new Xenomorph. He's a great champion. And welcome to raid. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.